Welcome to Getting It Right by the New Zealand Society of Genealogists. I'm your presenter, Sarah Hewitt. For the notes that accompany this presentation and the other Getting It Right learning resources, please see our website www.genealogy.org.nz.
In this presentation, we're going to look at other people's trees. They've been around for a very long time. Even the ancient Egyptians had them. You may not be that far back on your family tree, but I'm sure you've seen some. Those beautifully ornate medieval pedigrees, or the ones contained in books like Debrett's and Burke's, or even the tree that came from your cousin last week, or, as is more common these days, online family trees. They come in all shapes and sizes and varying degrees of reliability. So in this presentation, we're going to look at some of the red flags you should be looking for when you're looking at other people's trees. I'm going to run through some examples. See if you can figure out where the red flag is. Names have been changed to protect the guilty. Let's start off with John Smith from Matai Valley in Nelson, the centre of New Zealand. I'll give you a few seconds to work out the red flag. Did you come up with this one? John died in 1899, but he's still on the electoral roll in 1908. There might be a good explanation for it, but you need to check it out. Here's a second example, another John Smith, married Mary Brown. Again, I'll give you a few seconds to work it out. Did you come up with Martha? This is a question of geography. All the other children are born in Palmerston, down in the South Island, but Martha seems to be born in Palmerston North. It could be a typo, but again, you need to check it out. Just remember though, if your family worked for Mr. Darcy on the Chatsworth estate in Derbyshire, just moving from one job to another on the estate could take them into a different parish. And when you look at my great-grandfather, he worked on the roads. His kids are born all over the place. But again, you need to check it out. How about this example? Robert Smith. This one should be pretty quick to guess. Did you come up with this? A bit strange, isn't it? But this is a real-life example, names have been changed, from a family tree that was given to me. Again, check it out, because it just doesn't look right. Here's one that involves a little bit of maths. Did you pick William's birth? He's born 55 years after his mother. That's a big red flag. However, we need to think about it in terms of which way we're going around our tree. If we're looking for the parents of William Smith, then these are not them, because they were born far too early. Well, at least his mother was. But if we're looking for the children of John and Mary, then William isn't their child, because he's born far too late. Something to think about and to check out. Now we have a nice marriage example, James and Mary. Have a think about it. Did you pick James's birthplace? Aberdeen and Penzance are a very long way away from each other. However, there are always exceptions. And I'm going to call this one the Uncle Shave exception. I was looking for a Thomas Shave of Ipswich and Suffolk. He married a Frances, and I wanted to know more about her family. And when I searched, I found only one marriage for a Thomas Shave and a Frances in the right time period. But it was in Coventry, miles and miles away. Big red flag. However, do you know what? It is actually them. How do I know this? Because I found their marriage entry, and it quite clearly states on it that Thomas came from Ipswich. Which brings me to the important part about other people's trees. Sources. I know, it's a terrible pun, but like sauce on your hot dog, sources for your family tree are very useful. So, are there any sources attached to the tree? Other people's trees citing other people's trees are not good sources. Are they original? That's what you're looking for. And also, if there's more circumstantial evidence being used, can you follow their research to confirm they have it right? Up until this point, you need to view other people's trees as just a hint, something for you to go and look for further information on. But some of you are going to be saying to me, Sarah, everybody has it in their tree. Do you remember your mother saying to you when you were a child, if all your friends told you to go and jump off a bridge, would you? Well, it's the same with family trees. You want to have the right tree, not the same tree that everybody else has. So make sure you check out those red flags. I haven't covered all of them. There will be more. But keep your wits about you and make sure that you're getting it right. Now, of course, when you find a mistake in a tree, there's the question, do you correct it? Do you contact the person? It is really up to you. Some people don't receive criticism well. And I have to say, if you start out by saying you've made a mistake, you're definitely not going to get a response. However, if you ask politely, could you compare notes, you may find that they're right and you're wrong, or they might find that they're wrong and you're right. But be diplomatic about it. And when you've made contact, then start including some sources to prove your point. And what about your tree? Are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? Do you have sources attached to your tree? Are there some notes to explain the particularly complicated or intricate parts? And how do you respond when somebody rather undiplomatically says to you, you've got it wrong? All things to think about. Now, if you need some help with your tree, making sure that you're getting it right, have a look at the Genealogical Proof Standard. It's a methodology for genealogy which is very useful. Make sure that you're citing your sources and you're writing down things that you need to be writing down. We've done a Getting It Right on it, which gives you an overview of how it works. Thank you for joining us. All the Getting It Right resources are available on our website, www.genealogy.org.nz. And we'd like to thank the Wellington Masonic Club for their support in making these presentations. See you next time.